Today I want to talk to you guys about things that can cost you or your business money. Things that can kind of drain your revenue streams and cause different things with your bills and with your expenses to kind of raise and get out of control. These are things that you need to look for and kind of be mindful of, and most of them are 100% avoidable. So, there are things that you can do to make sure that you're not getting in a situation where it's getting out of hand. But at the same time, it's things that are very, very easy to slip your mind, or to be, if you have employees that are less mindful, that can just kind of overlook it and can allow them to kind of creep up and into your business and into your expenses. So these things, obviously work against you, but in the same respect, what you need to be mindful of or be careful of is that you make sure you don't get in a situation where you're too overzealous with this kind of stuff and creating a circumstance where it's going to affect your relationship with your customer or with your employees or both. Nothing is going to be worth, getting in a situation where you're going to lose customers simply because you're
Forget it. I'm cheap? You think I'm cheap?
In a situation where it's costing you money, or it's costing you a situation. You need to kind of work that into your system so that it can be avoided, or it can be covered with whatever you're charging for it. So with all that being said, the first one that I want to go over is equipment. Lost or misplaced equipment can be a huge cost to you and to your business. A lot of people don't realize it, and we've kind of touched on this in some of the other videos and stuff. But each one of the stakes that you put into the ground costs you money. Now, those stakes can be bent, can be broken, can be lost, can be misplaced, can be left, can be, numerous things that can happen with them. But in every single stake, it's costing you between $3 and $7. Now, a lot of times, I'll tell my guys, if it was a $5 bill laying out there, you wouldn't leave it laying in the yard.
Who lost it? You?
So don't think that you need to lay a stake out there. But these are one of the big things that your guys are going to misplace, simply because it's easy to slip the mind. And it's not limited to just your stakes, but stakes are probably an ongoing. I've been doing this for probably 18 years, and stakes have always been a situation where I've had to replace them every year because they're being lost, misplaced, broken, or bent. But we've also left blowers at customers. I've had customers who've called and asked to rent a blower or use a blower, and forgot to bring it back, or forgot to tell me about it, or I forgot to go get it, and they, it went 8 months, and they still have a blower, simply because those kind of things are they slip out of your mind very, very easily. Tarps, you can leave tarps, cords, power cords. A power cord, a 50-foot power cord, costs you about between 35 and $50. A 100-foot cord can cost you between $50 and $100, depending on the type, the brand, tons of other things. But those are huge expenses if you start losing those. And I've had an instance in the past where I've had customers that have laid claim to my cords and said, no, those are my cords, because they look very, very similar. If you're buying your cords from the same place they're buying their cords, then what you're going to have is a cord that looks like their cord. The workaround on that is to obviously buy cords that are different. There's a couple different companies out there that you can look up that you can buy the commercial grade cords that come in different colors, and you excuse me, you can also have them printed with the name of your business, your phone number, your website, whatever you want on that. So it's 100% unique. There's no way that the customer would kind of confuse that. Not to say that they won't get up, and walk off, but I am saying that it's probably a little more easy to spot them when they do. When you're dealing with other companies in big events and stuff like that, you need to kind of watch your competitors, whether they be friendly or unfriendly, because a lot of the times some of your competitors will accidentally procure some of your stuff as well. I've had some good friends who are in the business that I've gone to their shop, and lo and behold, I've looked and seen my blowers in their inventory sitting on the shelf with the rest of the blowers, and I know that they're mine because I've marked mine with my name. So it's kind of funny, but in the same respect, it's one of those things where a blower is $150 to $200. You can't afford to have those just kind of disappearing and showing up at other people's places. So you got to kind of keep that kind of stuff in mind. Being mindful of your equipment, making sure that you prevent the shrink, which is the loss, the theft, the mislaid, or the damage of equipment or products that are out there, and that can go all the way up to your delivery vehicles. You just got to be very, very careful, very, very mindful of those. So the number one thing is don't lose your stuff, because it costs you money. The second thing that I would say could cost you your business is efficiency. Being inefficient is a huge expense on you if you are, and it goes into all aspects of the business. But if, for instance, you have a delivery route that is going out of its way.
So which way do we go?
And it's going to the location and back to your shop, and then to the location and back to your shop, and you're adding up these miles. It doesn't seem like a whole lot, but if you add 20-25 miles every trip, over a year's time, you can get into the thousands of miles. And when you're talking about simply just the expense of fuel alone, it can get astronomical very, very quick. A lot of people don't understand how a vehicle, the expenses of the vehicle are added to it. You have the initial cost of your vehicle, you have the wear and tear cost of your vehicle, you have the fuel and the expendables of your vehicle. All of those factored in, I kind of put the numbers together, and it's costing me at today's gas prices about 65 cents per mile to go anywhere. Now, if you misuse your equipment, or you're not efficient with your routes, and you go an extra 1,000 miles in a year, you literally have just thrown $600 away in a year. And it doesn't sound like a lot at the time, but when you add those things up, it compounds and becomes a situation where you are really spending a lot of money. A lot of your reservation software will automatically kind of plot a route for you. That can be helpful. Also, just kind of sitting down and going through it and looking at the locations and marking them through with the time and the route. It can save you tons of money if you're efficient. If you're going somewhere far away and it's for a short event, there's no reason why you can't stay and just kind of wait and pick up the unit and then come back. What you don't want to do is get in a situation where you are doing these loops, or this incredibly out of whack routes that are costing you all this different money, because it is costing you time and expenses on your vehicle and with your labor and with your guys and the whole 9 yards. And again, this is another situation where your employees are not going to be very helpful, because they're not paying the gas bill, they're not paying the insurance bill, they're not paying to have the brakes or the tires replaced on the vehicle. So they're not going to be very helpful. You just have to be very, very mindful. You have to be mindful, and you have to remind them of what what it's costing, and the whole 9 yards, so that they know. And it may be in your best interest, and this kind of spans everything that we're talking about today. It may be in your best interest to come up with a bonus plan where you have a X amount of expenses that are per week or per month or per year, and if your employees go below that amount, then you refund them in the form of a bonus, whatever it costs. So for instance, if you have, I'm just going to come up with a number, $1,000 in expenses, and you only spend $800, you can take that $200 and add that to a bonus at the end of the year, and kind of make a situation where they can benefit by doing the right thing. So being efficient is super, super critical in saving you money, and that also goes with your units. If you are if you're able to turn your units, if you're able to rent it and get it back, get it clean, get it back out again, you're going to make more money. So you need to be kind of mindful of that. Your equipment that is down because of cleaning or because of repairs or whatever is not going to make you any money. It's going to cost you money, because the only way you're going to make money is if you're renting the stuff out. So get your equipment turned as quick as you can, get it back out there, and start making more money with it. That's the way to go. So we've talked about being efficient. We've talked about loss through shrink, and how those things can affect you with your your bottom line, your bills. Another way is that you lose customers through having poor service, or having poor equipment, or having unsightly or unclean stuff like that.
What does it mean? Is it dirty?
That. So the third biggest way that you're going to lose money is if you don't take care of your equipment, don't take care of it, and don't get a situation where you are keeping your equipment clean and serviceable, so that when the customer sees it, they are both happy with the performance and also with its cleanliness. Their children are sliding on your slide. Now you may feel however you feel about that, but that's their kids. So they expect it to be clean, they expect it to be safe, and if you're not doing a situation where your stuff is being taken care of, then obviously it's not going to be something that is well received on their side. What you have to remember is that when you lose one customer because of this, you haven't just lost one customer, you've lost several, because word of mouth is going to get out there that your stuff is not in the shape that they want it to be in, and they're going to tell their friends who have potential to be your customers, and they're going to leave reviews, and they're going to do those kind of things that are going to make a situation where it's going to be more and more difficult for you to make more sales. So take care of your equipment, make sure it's clean and serviceable, and that it's in a situation where it's going to be presentable to the customer, and that will keep you from losing money. Communicating with your customer is absolutely fundamental for you to make money. if you don't answer the phone when they call, they are not going to rent from you. A lot of people still do not trust, booking things online, and they want to talk to someone. And even after they've booked it online, if they do trust that kind of thing, they still want to talk to someone to make sure that they are being taken care of, and that the specifics of the rental are going to be dealt with, and it's going to be brought at the time that they want it for their party or their event. You have to communicate with your customer. You have to answer your phone. You have to answer emails. You have to answer texts. You have to answer messengers. You have to answer all these things. And when you don't, what you're doing is creating a situation where you're going to lose customers and you're going to lose money. Again, people will tell their friends that you are hard to get hold of, or you're hard to deal with, and it causes undue stress on them when they're trying to deal with their party, or they're trying to deal with their kids, or whatever they're doing, and they can't get in touch with you to tell you times and places and gate codes, or whatever it is. It's a huge red flag on their side, and it's going to cost you money in the end. So you need to make sure that you do your due diligence to make sure that you're answering the phone and answering the what you need to do, so that you're not losing those customers and it's not costing you money. The next things is fines and fees and things like that. If you're not operating above board, if you're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, if you're not paying your sales tax, if you're not doing, paying your employees, the right amount, if you're paying them under the table, whatever it is that you're doing, it's going to catch up with you. So what you need to do is make sure that you can bring in the professionals that you need to make sure you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. If you're operating without a license in a state that requires for you to be inspected or have a license or whatever, you are going to get gigged, fined, and put out of business, if not, severely punished. It's the same things with your taxes. If you're not doing your taxes on your sales or your income or your employees, labor tax, or whatever it is, you need to make sure that you're taking care of all those, because the government works on punitive fines and fees. That's how they correct you from doing the things that they're going to throw you in jail for not getting a license. What they're going to do is they're going to fine you and fee you right out of business, and that can be a huge way for you to cost you money. Along those same lines, we are in the delivery business. We are on the road, so you got to watch for speeding tickets. You have to watch for these speed cameras that are in school zones or red lights, or wherever you're at. You need to be mindful of that. Your employees will deliver in your vehicle and will get a fine or a fee or something on a camera, and that's going to come to you because of your license plate's on that. So the state's going to want to know how you're going to pay for that. Also, make sure that your vehicles are in serviceable conditions. All the lights are working. Everything is up to par, because again, those are just ways that you're going to get fined and feed, and it's going to cost you money. These things don't help you in any way. It all just costs you money. So you need to be very, very careful with all that, because avoiding them is the best way to make sure that they don't have an impact on you. There's no real way to make their effect lighter on you, other than the fact that you just can't. You got to avoid them, because speed and fines are huge.
You know how fast you were going?
Late taxes. I made the mistake of doing my sales tax one day late, and it cost me $150 in fines and fees for one day late. And honestly, it wasn't even one day late. It was just literally had shifted over past midnight, and I was frantically trying to get them all in there, and I couldn't do it. So you have to be very, very careful, because those kind of things will cost you, and that money comes off your bottom line. There's no way that's going to come off of anything other than profit, because there's no way that you can counter that as an expense. because you don't know when it's coming or where it's coming. So be very, very careful, and make sure your guys understand that it's important for them to follow all the rules and do what they're supposed to do as well, because you don't want them in a situation where they're going to be costing you money as well. So marketing can be a huge way for you to lose money. If you don't do the correct kind of marketing, you're going to lose money. If you don't do enough marketing, you're going to lose money. If you do too much marketing, you're going to lose money. Again, one of those things that you have to have you have to find a balance. I like Facebook simply because you can do a lot of free marketing in Facebook, and in some of the other social media sites as well, simply by putting up posts or pictures of your stuff and just letting everybody know what you got and what's going on. You make it into an event, you make it into a thing where everybody's seeing it, and they're going to get excited and they're going to want to rent as well. Just make sure you put your phone number or your website or something on there as well. Those kind of things can be easily manipulated to where when you have free time, you use that doing free marketing so that you're creating income out of nothing, free. And when you're busy, you switch over to an automatic situation where Facebook will automatically do some marketing for you through Facebook ads or whatever. Look into it. That's the way that you do it. That's the way that you save money, and it's a way that you prevent yourself from losing money, is by maintaining your marketing in such a way. If people don't know you exist, you do not make money, period. If you don't market, if you don't get out in front of them, if you don't show them what you got, if you don't get them excited about it, if you don't remind them that they need you for their kids' party, then you are not going to make money. You're not going to. They're going to figure out something else. They're going to go to the indoor jumpy place, or they're going to go to the park, or they're going to play whatever games, or they're going to go roller skating, or whatever they're going to do. Those are the things that you're competing against, so you need to make sure you're doing that. Also, if there are events coming up, you need to get out there and talk to the people who are in charge of the events so that you're in those spots. If there's an Easter egg hunt coming, then you need to get in touch with whoever's doing it so that you can put your units out there. If there's a 4th of July celebration going on, your inflatables need to be out there. The only way that they do that is you get in front of them and you show them what you got. Marketing. That's what you're doing. All right, I hope all these things have helped you guys, and I hope you've seen that there are ways that you can kind of prevent yourself from losing money and spending too much money on things that are not going to make you money. Plug those holes, stop those leaks, and keep that money within your business so that you can turn around and buy more units, or you can take a vacation with your family, or whatever you want to do. That's what's important. So spending a bunch of money on lost stakes, or on employees that are driving way too far out of range, or whatever it is, those kind of things need to be looked at, and it'll be better for you and better for your business if you are able to maintain that and keep it in order. So I really appreciate you guys once again for watching these videos. Keep spreading the good word, if you don't mind, and let everybody know. Give me a thumbs up and a like and a share, and a sub. If you're watching these, then you might as well subscribe to them, because they're going to keep coming as long as you're still liking them. I thank you for your time, and you guys have a good day.